Leader, third party.
There we go. Now he's...
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I think I'm living in some kind of fantasy world here in question period today. It's quite remarkable. Honourable Speaker, to entice LNG projects to British Columbia in 2014, the previous government promised proponents electricity rates of 8.3 cents per kilowatt hour. But that wasn't good enough, Honourable Speaker. So 2 years later, they dropped the rate to 5.4 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, we know the actual cost of power from Site C if the government continues with this project. It will be over 10 cents a kilowatt hour, while residential customers today are paying 8.6 cents at Tier 1 and 12.9 cents per kilowatt hour at Tier 2. So not only are residential customers paying nearly twice what hypothetical LNG companies would pay, they're also financing Site C to provide electricity to a non-existent industry through a business model that will lose about 5 cents for every kilowatt hour of energy produced. That's BC Liberal economics for you, Honourable Speaker. Fortunately, Honourable Speaker, fortunately for the members of that party, they have one leadership candidate who hasn't run on their abysmal economic record. My question through you, Honourable Speaker, to the Ministry of Energy, Mines...
Members, we shall hear the question, please.
My question to you, Minister, my question to the Minister of Energy, Mines and Petroleum Resources is this. Will government admit that the only reason to continue with the construction of Site C is to provide a ratepayer subsidized power to a non-existent LNG industry?
Minister of Energy, Mines and Petroleum Resources.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. He is aware of the process that's undergoing right now. We've just completed the BC Utilities Commission review of Site C. That report was delivered just a week ago, and this government has announced that we are now moving into our analysis, and then we'll be doing proper deliberations. Next week, myself and the Minister for Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation are actually going to be formally consulting with Indigenous communities and First Nations leaders who are directly impacted by Site C. Saying anything at present about future decision-making would likely prejudge that, and I'm just not going to be doing that.
Leader, third party on a supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The previous government did everything industry asked them to make their LNGs a reality. Jump, how high, how often, where to, how many times, how often. They wanted to deliver unicorns to each and every one of our backyards, and when they couldn't squeeze water from a stone, they tried desperately to squeeze even harder. They even changed the natural gas royalty legislation so that the minister could negotiate sweetheart deals in secret. They signed a deal with Progress Energy. They signed a deal with Progress Energy, Honourable Speaker. They signed a deal with Progress Energy and its partners that would have locked in low royalty rates for years and cost BC millions. But that contract had an escape valve. One of its conditions was a positive final investment on Pacific Northwest LNG by June of 2017. Yet Petronas decided to kill the project. My question through you to the Minister of Energy, Mines and Petroleum Resources is this. When will the government stand up for the people of BC, demand a fair price for our natural gas assets, and terminate the long-term royalty agreement with Progress Energy? And will the Minister confirm for the record that this government will not negotiate royalty agreements in secret with any other gas companies?
Minister, Energy, Mines and Petroleum Resources.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I think there's no doubt that anybody on this side of the House would agree with the member that the previous government made large promises and absolutely failed to deliver on those promises. I think we've canvassed a few of those, the jobs with LNG, the LNG Prosperity Fund, the debt-free BC, and families first as well, Honourable Speaker. But that being said, moving forward, we have committed to work with industry, but also to make sure that our regulatory oversight bodies are doing their due diligence as well, and that they have the resources to do so. Because on this side of the House, we want to make sure that government is working for all British Columbians and that we're all together building a better BC.
Yeah.